Congress is back in session after its Easter recess today, and the big topic on lawmakers' minds is the partial federal shutdown. Republicans plan to use their majority to fund the Department of Homeland Security without the support of Democrats. And the first step is having the House pass a bipartisan Senate bill to fund everything except ICE and border control.
As those talks resume, the Department of Homeland Security is warning TSA agents their pay may soon stop again. Right now, they're getting paid under an executive order promising back pay, but officials say Congress must act to keep paychecks coming as some workers still haven't received what they're owed.